Community policing. It sounds good, doesn't it? It's meant to be a partnership. Police officers walking the streets, knowing people's names. They're supposed to build bridges, not walls. The idea is simple. Police and the community working together. Hand in hand. They become part of the neighborhood they serve. They understand its rhythms, its people, its problems. This is the promise we are sold. A promise of safety, of trust, of a shared goal to make things better for everyone. It's a vision of officers as guardians, as friends you can turn to when you're in trouble. They are supposed to be the solution. But what happens when that promise is broken? What happens when the uniform, a symbol of protection, becomes a mask for something much darker? For some communities, the reality is a world away from this ideal. Instead of guardians, they see predators. Instead of partners, they see occupiers. The very people meant to uphold the law are the ones twisting it for their own benefit. It's a deep and painful betrayal. It's a story I've seen play out in too many places. The trust, so carefully built, shatters into a million pieces, and in its place, something ugly and dangerous begins to grow. This isn't just about a few bad apples, as some might say. It's about a sickness that can infect an entire system. When corruption takes hold, it changes everything. The police station stops being a place of refuge. The patrol car no longer brings a sense of relief. Instead, it brings a knot in your stomach. A feeling of dread. People start to look over their shoulders, not for criminals, but for the police themselves. The very foundation of community policing, trust, is eroded, washed away by a tide of cynicism and fear. The community is left feeling exposed, vulnerable, and completely alone in their fight for safety. The dream of community policing is a powerful one. It represents the best of what we can be, a society where law and order are balanced with compassion and understanding. But the nightmare of corruption is just as powerful. It shows us the worst. It reveals how easily power can be abused, how the desire for personal gain can poison the well of public service. This is the stark contrast at the heart of the issue. The gap between the promise and the betrayal is where communities are torn apart. It's where lives are damaged, and the hope for a better future begins to fade into the shadows. It starts small. A local shopkeeper is told to pay a little extra protection money, not to a gang, but to the officer who patrols their street. The officer says it's for extra patrols or to keep an eye on things. But it's not a request, it's a demand. Refuse, and suddenly your shop is getting ticketed for minor things. Or worse, when you call for help, no one comes. The protector has become a predator, using their badge not to serve, but to extort. This isn't about fighting crime anymore. It's about creating an income stream. It's a simple, brutal transaction that turns the community into a resource to be milked. Think about a young person, maybe stopped on the street. They haven't done anything wrong. But the officer sees an opportunity. A bit of cash, and the officer will forget they saw anything. Or they'll plant a small amount of drugs and threaten charges unless they're paid off. This isn't a scene from a movie. This is the lived reality for many. The officer isn't there to guide or help. They are there to intimidate, to leverage their power for a quick payday. The harm here is immense. It's not just the money lost, it's the lesson learned. Justice is for sale, and the law is just a tool for the powerful. This corruption brings more harm than good. because it actively undermines safety. Imagine a neighborhood where the local drug dealer has a deal with the police. The dealer pays them off to look the other way. So the police get their money, and the dealer gets to sell poison on the streets without fear. Who loses? The community. The families watching their children fall into addiction. The people living in fear of the crime that drug trade brings. The police, in this case, are not just failing to stop crime. They are actively enabling it. They are partners in the destruction of the very community they swore to protect. The result is a community that is sicker, not safer. The problems don't go away, they get worse. The small-time criminals are shaken down, but the big players are often left alone, especially if they can pay. This creates a twisted kind of order where crime is managed, not eliminated. The police are no longer fighting a war on crime. They are simply managing their business interests. This is the ultimate betrayal. The community is paying taxes for a police force that is not only failing to protect them, but is actively working against their best interests. The harm is deep, lasting, and it spreads like a disease. Living under a corrupt police force feels like being constantly watched. But it's not a comforting watch. It's the gaze of a predator looking for weakness. Every interaction is filled with tension. You see a police car driving slowly down your street, and your first thought isn't, "Good, they're keeping us safe." It's, "What do they want now? Who are they looking for? Am I next?" This constant state of anxiety is exhausting. It wears you down. People start to change their routines. They avoid certain streets. They tell their kids to be home before dark, not because of criminals, but because of the police. This feeling of being spied on is incredibly invasive. Community policing is supposed to mean officers know the community. But in a corrupt system, that knowledge is weaponized. The officer knows who is vulnerable. They know who is undocumented and afraid to speak up. They know which businesses are struggling and might be desperate enough to pay a bribe. This information isn't used to help. It's used to exploit. People feel trapped. They can't trust the very people they are supposed to call for help. It's like being sick and knowing the only doctor in town is the one who wants to make you sicker. This unfair treatment creates a deep sense of injustice. You see your neighbour, who pays the local officer, get away with things. Their loud parties are ignored. Their double-parked car never gets a ticket. But you, who refuse to play the game, are targeted. You get fined for a crack in your pavement or for your music being slightly too loud. It's a constant reminder that there are two sets of rules. One for those who cooperate with the corruption, and one for those who don't. This isn't just unfair, it's soul-destroying. It makes you question the very idea of a just society. The psychological toll is immense. People become distrustful of everyone. They become isolated. The community spirit, the very thing community policing is meant to foster, dies. Neighbours stop talking to each other, afraid that someone might be an informant. The fabric of the community unravels. Children grow up seeing authority as something to be feared and hated, not respected. This is the true cost of being watched by a corrupt eye. It's not just about the fear of being caught, it's about the slow death of hope, trust, and the feeling of belonging to a community that cares. An officer's power is immense. They have the authority to stop you, to search you, to arrest you. They can change the course of your life in a single moment. In a healthy system, this power is guided by strict rules and a sense of duty. It is used to protect and to serve. But when corruption seeps in, that power becomes a tool for personal gain. It becomes a currency. The badge is no longer a symbol of public trust. It's a key that unlocks opportunities for extortion, bribery, and abuse. The uniform provides the perfect cover for criminal activity, making it all the more sinister. One of the most common ways this power is abused is through extortion. We've seen it time and again. An officer pulls someone over for a minor traffic violation. They then present a choice: a costly ticket that will affect your insurance, or a simple cash payment right here, right now. For many people, especially those struggling to make ends meet, the choice is obvious. They pay the bribe. The officer pockets the cash, and the driver is left feeling violated and powerless. It's a small-scale shakedown, repeated hundreds of times, that adds up to a significant illicit income for the corrupt officer. But it can get much worse. Corrupt officers can get involved in organised crime. They can sell confidential information from police databases to criminals. They can provide protection for illegal operations like drug dens or brothels. They can even lose evidence or tamper with witness statements to ensure a guilty person walks free, for the right price, of course. In these cases, the officer is not just bending the rules, they are shattering them. They are actively working as part of the criminal underworld, using their inside knowledge and authority to facilitate crime instead of fighting it. They become the most dangerous criminals of all. This abuse of power for personal benefit creates a system where the law is arbitrary. Justice is not blind. It has a price tag. If you can afford to pay, you can get away with almost anything. If you can't, you are at the mercy of a system that is rigged against you. This completely destroys the principle of equality before the law. The officer's authority, which should be a shield for the innocent, becomes a weapon used against them. It's a complete inversion of their role in society, turning them from guardians of the peace into gatekeepers of a corrupt and unjust marketplace. When the people in uniform are the ones you fear, where do you turn? This is the question that haunts communities plagued by police corruption. The trust between the police and the public is not just a nice idea, it's the essential ingredient for a functioning society. When that trust is gone, it's replaced by a slow-acting poison. A poison made of fear, suspicion, and a deep-seated unhappiness. This isn't a sudden explosion, it's a gradual decay, a slow erosion of the bonds that hold a community together. Every corrupt act is another drop of poison into the well. This fear changes people's behaviour in profound ways. People stop reporting crimes. Why would you call the police to report a burglary if you suspect they are working with the burglars? Why would you be a witness to a crime if you fear the officer you speak to will sell your name to the criminals? So, crime goes unreported. It happens in the shadows. The official crime statistics may even go down, giving a false impression of safety. But the reality on the streets is one of growing lawlessness and fear. The community is left to fend for itself, trapped in a silent crisis. The unhappiness that spreads through the community is palpable. It's a constant, low-level hum of anxiety and resentment. There is a sense that the system is broken, that no one is looking out for you. This leads to a feeling of hopelessness. Young people, in particular, grow up with a deep cynicism towards authority. They see the police not as role models, but as antagonists. This can lead to more confrontation, more arrests, and a cycle of conflict that is hard to break. The community becomes a pressure cooker of negative emotions, with no healthy outlet for its frustrations. This breakdown of trust has long-term consequences. It makes real police work almost impossible. To solve crimes, police need cooperation from the public. They need witnesses to come forward. They need people to share information. But when the community sees the police as the enemy, that cooperation disappears. The wall of silence goes up. This means that even the good officers, the ones who genuinely want to help, are unable to do their jobs effectively. The poison of corruption harms everyone, creating a toxic environment where no one wins, and the entire community suffers the consequences. True safety isn't about having more police cars on the street or more people in handcuffs. It's not about control or intimidation. Real safety is a feeling. It's the feeling you get when you walk down your street at night and you're not afraid. It's knowing that if you need help, someone will be there for you, and you can trust them. It's a sense of community, a sense of belonging. This kind of safety can't be bought with bribes or enforced with threats. It has to be built, piece by piece, on a foundation of honesty, integrity, and genuine care. Honesty is the bedrock of this foundation. It means that the police are transparent in their actions. It means that when they make a mistake, they admit it and they fix it. It means that the law applies to everyone equally, with no exceptions for those with money or power. When a police force operates with honesty, people can see that they are trying to do the right thing. Even if they don't always succeed, the effort is visible. This builds respect. It shows the community that they are dealing with partners who are accountable, not rulers who are above the law. Genuine care is the heart of real safety. It's about police officers seeing the people in their community not as statistics or potential suspects, but as human beings. It's about understanding the problems that lead to crime, poverty, lack of opportunity, mental health issues, and working with the community to address them. This is what community policing is supposed to be. It's about solving problems, not just responding to emergencies. It's about an officer taking the time to talk to a group of teenagers, not to intimidate them, but to listen to them. This kind of engagement shows that they care about the well-being of the community, not just its control. Bullying and fake laws, the tools of corrupt policing, create the illusion of order, but they never create real safety. They create a brittle peace that can shatter at any moment. True safety is resilient. It comes from a community that is strong, connected, and empowered. It comes from a police force that serves with honor and is seen as a legitimate and trusted part of that community. It's not about having power over people. It's about empowering people to build a safer world for themselves. This is the only path to a lasting peace, one that is built on mutual respect and shared humanity. We must demand more than just control. We must demand true guardianship. A guardian is someone who protects, who nurtures, who cares for the well-being of those in their charge. A controller, on the other hand, is only interested in dominance and obedience. For too long, in too many places, we have accepted control in the place of protection. We have allowed the uniform to become a symbol of authority to be feared, rather than a sign of a guardian we can trust. The time has come to reclaim the original promise of policing, to serve and to protect. All of us, not just the wealthy or the compliant. This requires a fundamental shift in our thinking. We need to stop measuring the success of policing by the number of arrests or the amount of tickets written. These numbers can be easily manipulated and often hide a deeper reality of corruption and abuse. Instead, we should measure success by the level of trust the community has in its police force. We should measure it by the willingness of people to cooperate, to report crime, and to work together to solve problems. These are the true indicators of a healthy and safe community. They are the signs of a police force that is succeeding in its mission. Communities deserve real investment, not just surveillance and enforcement. This means funding for youth centres, for mental health services, for job training programs. It means addressing the root causes of crime, not just reacting to its symptoms. When police officers become partners in this effort, they become true guardians. They can help connect people in need with the services that can help them. This is a far more effective way to build long-term safety than simply putting more people in jail. It's about building a stronger, more resilient community from the ground up. It's about offering a hand up, not just a slap down. Ultimately, the fight against corruption is a fight for the soul of our communities. It is a fight for a future where our children can grow up respecting the law, not fearing it. It requires courage from all of us, courage from within police departments to root out corruption and hold officers accountable, and courage from a community to demand transparency and to refuse to accept anything less than true, honest protection. We need to support the good officers who are trying to do the right thing and create a system that makes it impossible for the corrupt ones to thrive. This is our shared responsibility. This is our call for true guardianship.